Thank you very much for sticking around till the very last session. I appreciate that. Hats off to the panelists. Yeah. I realize they're more than just experts. They are advisors. So anyway, I'm gonna have to go get one of those. That's pretty cool. Okay, is Eric Dreyer still here? Eric, where's Eric? Up here. Oh, yes, up in the spotlight. Eric came up to me at lunch. Do you mind if I tell this? Okay, cool. Eric said, he was very excited, and he said, I am totally nerding out on planning today. So how many people are totally nerding out on planning? Is this just good? Okay, good. Okay, this is great. Thank you very much. That's great. Okay. 37 years and 3 days ago, an event was held in the slowly fading Skirvin Hotel in the rapidly dying downtown Oklahoma City. The event was held to honor Oklahoma communities and their achievements. On the inside of the cover of this program was this passage. It said, "The Oklahoma Community Achievement Contest is designed to encourage communities to work out their own destinies. They do this by a bit of soul searching, to study themselves objectively, to recognize their disadvantages, to correct the one, and to enhance and exploit the other. All of this demands complete community cooperation and an instant implementation of plans." 20 communities received citations that night. A year ago, I found this brochure in a box of files that had been stashed in the garage long ago. I had simply forgotten this, but I must have read those words that night and had those etched into my little brain. In conjunction with this event was the Pride in Oklahoma Essay Contest Awards. Judges from 5 regions of the state had each selected 5 semifinalists. So there were 25 high school seniors receiving citations that night. The grand winner would be announced at that and take home a fairly large scholarship. That year, in 1976, Putnam City High School, now Putnam City Original, had all 5 regional winners come. The guy down at the end of the line in the totally cool plaid slacks won the big scholarship. And if you haven't noticed, I'm at the far end of that lineup. Now, for you millennials out there, you may be wondering what's going on with my jacket collar and pocket trim and sleeves. That's a leisure suit. That is called reverse stitching. And when combined with those sideburns, that was our Justin Bieber cool. Was that a good comparison or not? I'm not sure. Oh, okay. Anyway, before announcing the grand winner, each regional winner received a certificate and got to go up on the stage. I owe you a favor. For a brief moment and a quick handshake, the then governor and the then certain high school senior crossed paths. This photo captures a brief moment of joy for that high school senior. What the story doesn't capture, or what this photo doesn't tell, is that this high school senior already has one foot out of the state, headed to a college 650 miles away, with absolutely, positively no intentions of ever coming back. While the senior truly believed in his little essay and believed in the concept of living in Oklahoma, he'd endured the most miserable 4 years of his life here. Never ever, not coming back, hated it here, hayseed capital of the world, awful people, dismal place, gone. Maybe some of you students out there felt the same way about your hometowns and high schools as well. And maybe some of you faculty and staff and visitors felt that way too. And I have just one word for you: beware. Okay. 5 years later, with a hot little architecture degree, I came back to Oklahoma City to work. And it's amazing that I've spent the last third of a century working in communities here, trying to improve the communities. So beware, you may be headed back to your hometown at some point. Today, I would like to share some success stories of talented people out there who became engaged in their communities and created their senses of place. The first one I will call Capitalizing on History. This is in Guthrie, Oklahoma. For 18 years, it was the territorial capital. For 3 short years, it was the state capital, and then in the middle of the night, the state capital moved to Oklahoma City. Overnight, this little town lost all political clout, all sense of being. It fell into a 70-year slumber and about the same form of depression. My job here, working with many, many people, and I happen to see Ralph McCalmont and Jay Hanna out there today, was to prepare restoration drawings for some 75 buildings downtown. The lesson that I learned was that people have hidden talents. When asked, when respected, when given a chance, people share those talents, and they share them so freely. Most people want to be part of something that is getting better, not worse. Given just a chance, the average everyday citizen is waiting to become a superhero and a good citizen. People don't like living in dark times. They want to see the light and shine it and share it. And for all of our efforts, after many, many bean suppers and pie suppers and all kinds of things, Guthrie in 1988 received a National Preservation Award from the National Trust for all of its efforts. My personal reward was that my work let me go on to work with the fine folks in Chandler, Oklahoma, on historic Route 66, and in Pawhuska, Oklahoma, that is now the gateway to the Tallgrass Prairie Reserve. My next chapter, I had 2 part-time jobs. The economy was so bad I had to take 2 part-time jobs, one in Guthrie and one in Oklahoma City. No benefits, and with travel, I probably made about $4 an hour, which was interesting. My next chapter is painting a pretty picture in Paseo. I had a goal to buy a house before my 24th birthday, and I did that 3 weeks before I turned 24. I bought a house in a black square on the neighborhood map. People kept telling me, no one can organize those folks in that area. In fact, you just mentioned the word, the Paseo, and people would just roll their eyes like, oh my gosh, the Paseo. I knew I had a challenge when I bought that house, but I decided to go ahead and move in anyway. I thought my job here was to be a resident and save little old frame bungalows. I just did not realize I had 9 consecutive years as serving as the neighborhood association president. There were so many lessons here. I think I saw Debbie Blackburn earlier. She was one of we called ourselves the Paseo pioneers. In order for people to feel at home in a neighborhood, the housing has to be stabilized. With 83% absentee landlord rate and a 60% vacancy rate, we had a few challenges. As I moved into my house, which cost $18,000, Penn Square Bank failed, and my goodbye house was sitting in a neighborhood of $1,500 houses and $750 apartment buildings. But there were many other issues. Crime and arson. At one time, we had the highest crime rate and the highest arson rate of all neighborhoods in the city. So we created a patrol and rode the streets at night. Animals. With such an abandoned neighborhood, people began dropping off their dogs and cats in our street. A loose network of people in 8 or 9 households converted the garages into large nurseries, taking care of young puppies, old dogs, and stray cats. At one time, the numbers were about 8 cats and 32 dogs. Adults. We had many lonely single seniors living in the area. When they worked in their front yards, people broke in through their back doors or vice versa. So what we did is we paired the senior citizens with the abandoned animals, finding love, security, safety, and companionship for all. Children. I've got to say, this slide up here, somebody removed the chimney on their house and then took the 5-panel doors out of their house and boarded up where the chimney was. That's the type of junk we saw going on. This house in the middle and on the right, I heard it creak one night. We had strong winds, and because of a bad rehab, it blew over. There's this weird stuff going on all the time. You just never did know. You never did know. Children in our neighborhood. We began realizing that children in the neighborhood were at home in the yards during the day. They weren't playing. They were reenacting things that only grown adults should know about doing. Obviously, they were seeing too much at home. When we checked with the schools, people rolled their eyes again. Oh, the Paseo kids. The Paseo kids were known for their truancy. Our children were missing 57 days of school consecutively. That was the average. We created a Spark program at First Presbyterian Church and then extended that to Westminster Presbyterian Church. When presenting their report that they had been to school that day, children could come to a safe place, a large church, has good snacks, movies, games, homework help, activities, and parental guidance, or adult guidance, I should say. We realized our children didn't have birthday parties. We had monthly birthday parties. They didn't have organized play, so we took them to the park for softball. They didn't know what a Christmas party was. We held one. We had them decorate ornaments and put them on the tree. The winner of the ornament decoration contest got to take home the tree fully done. The winner always happened to have 2 or 3 siblings there, so the most number of children could take home a tree. One year, the winner was 14-year-old Ramona. Ramona told me as she, her brother, her sister, and I took home the tree in my little Nissan hatchback, she said, "I am so excited. We've never had a tree before." When we got to the house, their mother didn't even stand up or greet me or ask what I was doing with her 3 children. She just sat there. It will make a mess. But for us, we found the meaning of Christmas on that cold, drizzly afternoon. Those twinkling little Christmas lights brightened a very dark home life. On the flip side, I would come home from work. A squiggly little note would read, "We haven't seen you much lately. You're working way too much. Enjoy a meal." There would be these little tinfoil tents sitting on my back steps. A meat, a couple of vegetables, a salad, and the biggest one, just what kind of homemade pie? A whole pie. All prepared by my neighbors Clara, Faye, Eddie, Lucille, Lona, and Tammy. 30 years later, another generation is finding a much different Paseo. In 2010, the American Planning Association named the Paseo in the top 10 greatest neighborhoods. In 2010, Forbes magazine listed it in the top 10 of America's most transformed neighborhoods. And in 2011, BBC Radio listed it as one of the most beautiful neighborhoods in the United States. The lesson here is that your little seemingly unimportant deeds today will be magnified 30 years later. Thank you. Thank you. Mainly Main Street is the next little stop. The years of 1981 to 1991 here in Oklahoma were dreadfully awful. I wondered why I had even come back. I escaped one time, and now I'm back here by choice. 1987 was the pits. State leaders contracted an image survey to see what people thought about Oklahoma. Though we knew it would be really bad, we were surprised. It was worse than that. It came back. We had no image, not even a bad one. Is that just crazy? It's like, well, what do we do now? This followed with the release of the 1987 Rand McNally Atlas. To save on printing costs that year, they cut out 2 states where people probably weren't headed anyway. The Oklahoma lieutenant governor at that time said, "How can you do this to South Dakota? They have Mount Rushmore." And, okay, so what we saw starting the program in 1986 was really a challenge. But what we saw were people come forward and really start placemaking in their communities. During 2 different times, I got to work for a total of 19 years with about 70 Oklahoma communities. Each one of them is different, but yet the people are so very much the same. My job here was to provide design assistance and to guide restorations of old buildings, but there were literally thousands of people doing different things to make things happen. My lessons here could take a whole day, but I won't take that whole day. I just will show you some examples of some cool things. Wilburton, Oklahoma, 3,000 people, prominent Jewish merchant families downtown, last remaining property. They created a Jewish heritage park downtown in Wilburton, $67,000 raised. Stockyard City, what a great entry sign. Enid, if I had to say one project is everything, it's this 21,000 square feet of vacant grocery warehouse space on the southeast edge of town, just sitting there. The city council cut funding to all of the groups in town that do quality of life programs in the community. A group at the Episcopal Church said, we won't do this. We will create a thrift store. They hired 26 people coming off dark times, rebounding in life, paid them more than minimum wage, serve over 600 customers a week. Their motto is, would you rather have $500,000 or would you rather give $500,000 away? They hope to have enough proceeds to give $500,000 back to people. Claremore, Hobart, the General Tommy Franks Leadership Institute Museum that pairs children in Oklahoma and all over the United States with children in the Middle East to learn about leadership. Claremore, the guys just said, we don't want to sit there, much like Jason Roberts said, we want to get out and take the facades off and find out our historic architecture. There's still real service stations working in our towns, and then some have been transformed to children's museum. And then there are cool Main Street offices. And then there are ghost sign restoration projects. We say that guy's a pretty major cokehead. Goes along with Merle Haggard, Okie from Muskogee, you know. And Sapulpa, the largest building in downtown Sapulpa, built by an 18-year-old African-American entrepreneur that was covered over with cheese grater skin at some point. It's now over 30 new senior apartments downtown. I've got to say that probably, undoubtedly, the staff, the local managers, the volunteers of the Oklahoma Main Street Network form the strongest, hardest working, most visionary, and most influential group of people for improving the quality of Oklahoma's communities. Last week at the state capitol, yes. Last week I heard the figure that in the last 10 years, over 1 million volunteer hours have been dedicated to this network. In the last 28 years, $1 billion has been invested. Just unbelievable. We're all the Main Streeters. Just raise your hands. Okay, cool, good. Shifting into gear and Automobile Alley. Just as our Oklahoma Main Street towns really were taking off, something happened. April 19th, 1995. This was the day of the truck bombing in front of the Alfred P. Murrah building in downtown Oklahoma City. My job was predetermined for me as I was appointed team leader for an area just known as Team 2, addressing the badly damaged buildings along North Broadway Avenue. We quickly focused the leadership to Meg Salyer. I believe I saw her earlier today. My lesson from this, again, there were so many, but what I learned is when faced with unbelievable grief, many good people can far outshine the darkest of hours. 28 of us volunteers, mostly strangers, took on 70 bomb-damaged buildings, turning Team 2 into Automobile Alley. Thankfully, this time, the good people were anything but silent. Our Friday lunch gatherings of every Friday had a constant menu of beer, wine, potato chips, and pizza. Why not? Life was uncertain. After some sort of horrible tears, we found incredible laughs. Through memories of friends that we'd lost, we found new friendships. Through dark hours, we found bright hope. As we worked on Automobile Alley issues, we followed the developments of an international design competition and then saw that plan be revealed. A three-person firm from Berlin, Germany won that. Two of those people are in this photo, Tori Bootzer and Hans Bootzer. I believe Hans is out there right now. Yes, he's the new director for our architecture program here. We realized that we were creating the front door to a new Oklahoma City that would lead to something special just a couple blocks away. For me, Automobile Alley will be special. My being involved there was a way to honor 22 friends who will forever bear the scars of hatred and will have their names etched onto the survivor's wall. And it's a way that I was able to remember 42 friends and acquaintances who will forever have a chair in the field and a seat in world history. This project sealed the deal for me. Finally, through incredible actions of just some pretty incredibly fabulous people, I realized that I live in a quality community. I now had an adopted hometown. From the very dark hours of my high school years, when I was totally withdrawn and had no sense of place, I realized that I was a world citizen. I stepped up at a crucial time. I became engaged and found the sense of community that I had always longed for. During those dark days, following these tragic events, I saw the brightness of people who were willing to share and overcome the grief and the destruction. It is now April 3rd, 2013. My role in forming quality communities in Oklahoma is shifting. When I work with communities, it is through academic courses and with a staff, faculty, and students. I get to work with an incredible staff for the Institute for Quality Communities. Blair Humphreys, who's just an unbelievable director. Hope Mander, who's an incredible associate director. Professor Goins, who's an OU landmark. Shane Hampton, Julie Tran, and Sam Day. They're students, but they're also co-workers. They're the next generation. We get to share our experiences with students studying architecture, construction science, interior design, landscape architecture, and regional and city planning. We have the incredible position of providing valuable learning experiences for students while giving back to Oklahoma communities. For the first time in the history of the College of Architecture, all of our divisions are in one location in the beautifully rehabilitated Gould Hall. Once considered the ugly duckling of the South Oval, is now a building where hardworking staff, and I think staff gets forgotten a lot on campuses, hardworking staff, incredibly talented faculty, and gifted students come to collaborate, create, and construct. I came to OU just after this group moved into this building. It's interesting to watch the placemaking process go on right outside my office door. And we have quite a great team of leaders, and Dean Graham and Associate Deans Warkin and Ryan, who are guiding us and encouraging us to try new things each and every day. At the Institute of Quality Communities, we do listen and we do take notes, and we quote a passage on the base of a statue at the North Oval here at OU. It says, "A university is a place where we should learn how to argue and debate with each other without ceasing to love and respect each other." This conference is something of that sort. We also quote a line from President Boren's book, A Letter to America, page 96, dog-eared, underlined, highlighted, double asterisk, worn out. I need another copy. Every decision should be made with the goal of increasing community. For all of you students out there, not just those from the College of Architecture, I hope that you realize how many staff and faculty are fully engaged in making a sense of place out of this place that we call the University of Oklahoma. There's so many organizations and activities. We have a thriving arts district, a world-class museum, incredible libraries. There's so many places to study, beautiful places, so many services to help you even pass your time here. I've learned all you have to do here is just read the sidewalks to know what's going on. Please take advantage of these. I'm now going to project into the future. April 6th 2050 to be exact. I started this by looking back 37 years and 3 days ago. Now I'm looking forward to that amount of time. I hope that there will be an event like this on that day. I hope that some of you students will be up here talking about your being engaged and you're living in a quality community and you're creating a sense of place. I hope that the dark times that you may experience in your life are short and that from those times you find the light of hope for better times. When ending this presentation, I tried to write some original words, and I couldn't. I kept coming back to a passage that I found last summer. On the counter of the Spirit and Art Gallery in the tiny little town of Madrid, New Mexico, was a stack of photocopies with these words that I'm about to read. President Nelson Mandela, one who certainly knew dark times and bright times, shared his thoughts during the inaugural presentation in a college course called Course in Miracles. And I'm going to pair these with slides of our students who are engaged in their classes. President Mandela said, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You're a child of God. Your playing small doesn't serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were born to make manifest in the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we're liberated from our own fears, our presence automatically liberates others." Thank you.